Welcome to episode 26 of the Old Fashioned Podcast. I'm Kevin, joined by Mike, just as I am every week. What's up, dude?
Man, struggling today.
Yeah, you got a cold, but you're playing Battlefield.
I am playing Battlefield.
So that's happiness.
Yeah, it's a mandatory. There's
before we talk about Battlefield, which I 100% intend to do, as always, kingscoastcoffee.com. The holiday bundle's out. The holiday blend is out. Hot cocoa's available. Do not come crying to me next year when you're like, I didn't get any of the cocoa. It sold too fast. It's been available and is still available, and I know the quantity is in there. So if you're not getting cocoa, you're just being lazy at this point. Lazy. Don't waste time. Shipping sucks right now. Get your cocoa. Great gift. kingscoastcoffee.com. How is Battlefield? I have not touched it yet.
So in my opinion, these maps are way too big, dude. They're way too big.
Like, are you going minutes without seeing anyone?
Dude,
Are the lobbies full?
From what I can tell, they're pretty full. I do have crossplay enabled. So at least in the regular conquest maps, I don't feel like I've encountered any bots yet. But dude, that like wide open winter map with the big oil rig thing in the middle, dude, it's too big. It's too big. It's just obnoxious. And it's like 50-50 in the chat. You'll see people that kind of agree, like, these maps are not that great. It's too big. There's too much open space where it's just running simulator.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's others that are like,
I guess you don't like large-scale warfare. Ooh, get a squad. Get a vehicle.
you're fucking obnoxious. Stop.
Well, I was going to ask, is it trying to encourage you to use vehicles more than move around on foot?
Yes, but you're only allowed so many. And when you're only allowed so many, and so everyone's like, I think you're only allowed like 8 tanks, right? Something like that.
I don't know.
128 player server.
Right. So not everyone can get a vehicle.
Yeah, not enough to go around, dude.
Person that
I don't know. But to be fair, they could have done what is typical EA fashion and fucked the players. They didn't. They included Portal at launch, which all I've played this morning. I dropped into. Can
you explain Portal to me? Because I haven't seen it and Tim loves it too. So explain it to me, please.
Oh, it's amazing. So you essentially get the maps from Battlefield 1942, Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, and this current Battlefield. But you also get a large amount of assets from those games that you can mix and match and apply your own rules to.
Gotcha.
So you create your own rules. Basically, you're creating your own game mode with the weapons and shit you want. There's no real map editor, but it's essentially a game editor.
Right.
Which I'm good with. I'm cool with that.
Is there like a roulette to just try random ones, or do you have to go in, see what the stipulations are, and then click to join the queue?
You just go in, click to join whatever you want.
Okay.
But you can make it it's web-based the way they're made. So
right.
You could log on and then you would just upload whatever your code is. So like you'll see, I saw a bunch of servers that are like tagged with work in progress. But right now in Portal, I don't know if it's a glitch or an XP exploit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm 20 already.
Jesus.
Yeah. And my M4 is almost maxed out. I already have the 1,200 kill camo for it.
Good God. You've killed 1,200 people already?
Yes.
Jesus, Michael.
But that's because people are creating. So you can actually create zombie mode, like Call of Duty Zombies.
Mm-hmm.
You could essentially do that in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for whatever reason, those AI bots are counting towards XP.
That sounds intended to me.
You think?
Yeah, because then you can farm AI to try and level up, because it used to be really hard for people that like me that can't kill.
You think that's intended?
Yeah, it's probably
wow.
more of a. They probably know it's going to be a loophole for leveling, but at the end of the day, it's just going to catch everyone up to a certain level in a few months.
I assumed it was like an because it's legit. People are what's happening. Excuse me, I'm stuttering. I can't really. What's happening is people are doing increased enemy numbers, but 1 HP bots.
Right.
So you're getting the weapon XP and you're getting the level XP for 1 HP. So people are flying Blackhawks, just dropping them on the ground and just holding down on a spawn point.
They might nerf some of the stuff, but I have a feeling AI will always count as, kill. But maybe there's like a minimum HP.
Yeah, no, I just assumed it was working as intended, but they didn't think it would be. I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't assume the players would flock. I mean, it's like every server right now on Portal is XP farm.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to jump into it. Battlefield is one of my favorite games. You never played Battlefield 4 with us, right? We hadn't met you yet.
Yeah, we did. Well,
you and I have played Battlefield 4. I mean, like the nights where it was like me, Pete, Wayne, Brian, Rob.
No.
On PlayStation 4 when it first came out.
Me, you, and Rob have played. I'm not sure if Pete was there when we were playing.
Yeah, no, we used to like, that was our night. Who's playing tonight? I'd love to do that again, but I know we're all in different phases of life.
So they're supposedly bringing in, more stuff. I really hope they drop Battlefield 4 maps.
In
Portal.
I have a feeling. Well, yeah, they don't want to give you everything at once, so it makes sense that they would do that. I got a key for the PC, but I'm really tempted. Now, I know it's cross-play, but is it cross-save?
I don't know. Because it's an EA account, wouldn't it?
That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but it's easy.
Yeah, I just want to make sure if I'm going to buy it for Xbox 2, that weapon progress and all that stuff is cross.
If it doesn't carry over, that would be lame.
Yeah, because then I have to hook my laptop up to the TV and play it that way. So I don't know, but that would be my question. And then I did get a code for COD Vanguard, which Tim said the story for COD Vanguard is phenomenal.
Is it better than Modern Warfare though? For real?
He said it's the World War II setting, so it's more comparable to whatever that last World War II one they did was.
I really wish I could get into those. I just can't. I just can't get into them.
The COD in general or the stories?
No. The like post-war setting.
I heard the
I just can't.
The 80s one was garbage, the one with Reagan. The one they just had last year or the year before. Yeah, I heard that one sucked.
I heard it was garbage too, and I keep hearing mixed reviews about Vanguard, but everyone knows this is like if I had to pick between Vanguard and
Battlefield. I haven't even played either of them yet. I'm telling you, Battlefield now.
Battlefield, hands down. I mean, just hands down. So this is such a skippable COD, especially because Modern Warfare 2 is coming out, and all the rumors that are coming out about Modern Warfare 2 are impressive. They're basically putting Tarkov into COD.
Yeah. Battlefield to me will always be, because I'm not good at FPS games. Like legit, I'm not good at them. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. But Battlefield has components that allow me to get points in different manners and, not have to just be quick on the trigger finger to be the best at a game. Right. I used to, back in Battlefield 4, I used to be the helo guy. I'd pick them up in the helo, go capture a point, and we had like rotations on maps where we would be away from like the major fighting. So I'd drop like the guys in, they'd sweep the little area, we'd get the point, hop back in and go to the next point that we knew was empty. And I was like 1, 2, 3 on leaderboards with like 2 kills. Yes. So, Battlefield allows you to actually be in a scenario that seems more user friendly, especially when you're playing with friends and not everyone's good at the game. Right. But I'll try the COD multiplayer just to see. But the last COD I tried was, which COD?
Modern Warfare, I think we played.
The one where they introduced the Battle Royale, whatever that game that was.
Modern Warfare.
Yeah, yep. I hated the PvP in that. I was just awful.
I loved it. But so again, their maps sucked except for a few. Their maps blew. Like Piccadilly, fuck you. Fuck you, whoever brought Piccadilly in. Fuck you. That map is trash.
You got that Mr. Piccadilly guy out there listening to this?
Yeah. But Shoot House, maps like that, those small maps. Shipment was awesome. That was a great map.
Yeah.
That was easy for weapon leveling. That was great.
Yeah.
Pop all your boosters for that. I really enjoyed the multiplayer. I just wish that they allowed you to vote or choose on your map. If they did that, in my opinion, it would have been even better.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. So I'll try both. I'm still playing Far Cry. I enjoy it. I mean, we said last week, I said, if you like Far Cry, you'll like this. I still feel exactly the same. It's It's the capture the points, follow the story type of thing. I've cleared 2 of the map areas, and it's fun. And I'm having fun casually playing through it. The next story game I'm going to play is Guardians of the Galaxy because I've heard nothing but incredible things about that game.
Yes.
So I'm excited. I can Steam share that with you, by the way, Mike, when I'm done with it.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I know you like Guardians. Piss off Ghost. But yeah, I've been enjoying that, and then I've been back in SWTOR for my MMO fix, and the new stuff that they're coming out with. I'm sad the renown system's going away. If you don't know what the renown system was, it's very similar to the way ESO's champion levels work, where you can level after you level and you get rewards for it. But they're going back to a much more traditional, like chase this piece of gear through doing flashpoints, chase this piece of gear through doing raids and whatnot. So if I can get a group, which I said on Star Wars and Scotch this morning, if you're interested, let me know. I don't want to be the guild leader. I don't want to be the raid leader.
I have a Sith Marauder right now, though. I think you guys are all light side, right?
No, Rob went Sith, and I have tons of characters on both sides, so it doesn't matter what you pick.
Yeah, I was leveling a Marauder.
Yeah, I have 9 level 75 characters on my server, and the rest are somewhere in there. Yeah, because it's fun to go back and play through the story again, because you can do it with a different sex, and then also with a different light or dark side, and you get way different reactions than you got the first time. People can also, like, depending on how I don't know, you haven't met him yet, but Arkin, he's the son of the Eternal Emperor.
Okay.
His appearance will change depending on how you play with him.
Oh, no way.
There's a few characters. Jaisa Willem, I think her name is. Depending on how you treat her, she will either be light or dark side, and like her whole face will change depending on how you do that. So definitely that BioWare vibe in there. But yeah, if you want to play SWTOR, Legacy of the Sith 7.0 comes out next month. I'll be indulging in that. Mike will be in Final Fantasy by then.
Yes.
I'm not going to jump into Final Fantasy Endwalkers right away. I'm going to wait till like I've satisfied my SWTOR time.
Then I'm going
to play Endwalkers. Well, I won't be playing Endwalkers. I still have to play through the rest of the Final Fantasy stuff. But I'm going to focus on like one MMO at a time instead of trying to multitask, and then have friend games and a story game. That's kind of been my loop, and I'm really satisfied with that, how that loop is working. So
I actually also downloaded Guild Wars 2 just to try it.
I did. It's a fun game, but it
looks super dated.
It is.
The questing is interesting.
Yeah, it's not a normal quest system. No. It's like a lot of area quests and whatnot. Like, I did a Necromancer.
That's what I did.
And it's fun, and the versatility of the classes is really cool. But I don't know, there's something missing in Guild Wars that I'm just not feeling it. Fate of Gundabad for Lord of the Rings Online came out as well this week too. So a new expansion there, which Bloodborne, my buddy, keeps like, come play. So I don't even have one max level character in that, because that game is they never changed leveling XP. Let me rephrase. They have changed it, but not to the way other MMOs change it, where you like out level an area fairly quickly. They still want you to like go through the story, and it's a grind. So
okay,
yeah, it's interesting, but and then they have 2 legacy servers now. They have Treebeard and Shadowfax, and Treebeard is leveling through the progression slower than Shadowfax. Get the names? How funny is that? So Shadowfax is like a quick Zerg through the legacy system, through all the raids and stuff for people that like don't want to wait. And then Treebeard is people like you and me that have lives and and want to do it very slowly. So I tried the legacy server. Again, it's another game where if you don't really have support, solo is rough. So but I do have support. It's just he plays at the exact opposite. The problem with playing with Blood is, except for weekends, he is literally on the opposite schedule I am.
Oh no!
Like he goes to bed an hour before I get up. So.
Oh geez.
Yeah, he goes to bed at like 2-3 in the morning. To because he streams late at night. So, but yeah, I'm enjoying, honestly, leaving streaming and playing video games again. You always get the itch to stream. And you know, I'll always do stuff with Rare Drop, but there's just something about sitting in your house and just chilling. And you know, I loved the night, and I want to do this with Battlefield and more. I loved the night you, me, and Rob were just running around in Final Fantasy and just bullshitting on Discord.
Yes.
And Danielle was cracking up, and she couldn't even hear you two. She only heard me, but she was still laughing hysterically. You know, and I miss that. I that's how I like to game, is just bullshitting with my friends and having a good time. So
yeah, I'd rather reset and get back to just playing games that way.
Yeah, streaming really changed my brain on how I played video games, and I'm still undoing it. And I hope if you are a streamer out there and you're listening to this, just be cognizant of that it does rewire your brain. Like you almost have this inkling to say, well, if I'm going to play this game, it needs to provide ROI, and you almost lose why you got into it in the first place. So be cognizant of that. And if you're out there and if you're like on the fence or you're winding down in your streaming career, it's going to take you a little while to unlearn and unthink those things and get back to just enjoying a game because it's fun. So
speaking of which,
what?
So I pre-ordered Sekiro way back. I pre-ordered that bitch.
Yep.
And I don't know what happened, and I don't know why. I never played it. I never played it,
which is shocking to me because Souls games are like your bread and butter.
I love it. I love them. And I started getting excited because there was Elden Ring announcements that were coming out, and so
I think people that like Souls games like to get the shit kicked out of them in the bedroom. That's just my personal opinion.
Oh, you think? I don't know. We'll get an alley down here and see. But it's I was getting all excited, so I was like, oh, you know what? I'm not playing MMOs right now because I'm not like seriously playing them. I'm jumping in and out, but I'm not maining them. I said shooters are whatever. You could pick them up whenever. So I installed it and started playing it. Oh my God, it's so good, man. It's so good. And then on top of that, Elden Ring gameplay trailer dropped.
My notes were to ask you about Elden Ring.
Oh, dude.
It looks gorgeous.
It is so much more than, because I was like, oh, open world Dark Souls, right? Oh, it's gonna be so much more. I can't wait.
I'm almost upset that it's a Souls game because that means like I don't have the patience or time to play it.
But dude, they boosted the hell out of magic. Like they're in that gameplay trailer alone, there's more magic than anything else. Like it's incredible. And they've also kind of consolidated the schools of magic, so it's not like hexes and they've consolidated the magic the way that you level.
Right.
So that gives you a bigger arsenal. And on top of that, man, did you see they have sleeping arrows now? You could just pow with a sleeping arrow, knock them out, and then execute them while they're sleeping.
I did see that actually.
You could attack it like that if you wanted.
What I'm going to do is when you're playing, I'm going to ask you to stream it for me on Discord so I can watch and see 100%. If it's something I'm like interested in, because it's gorgeous and the aesthetic is right up my alley, but I'll be damned if I can play a Soulsborne game. I've tried to play Bloodborne and I hated it. I tried to play whatever that something of the Fallen game and I hated it.
Oh,
and I
Lords
tried
of the Fallen is garbage though.
And I tried to play Dark Souls 2 and I hated it. So
Dark Souls 2, I kind of get why you wouldn't like Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 was not Miyazaki. Although there are defenders for Dark Souls 2.
There's always defenders for
There
everything.
are defenders. I would recommend, sincerely, Bloodborne is what gets a lot of people into Souls games. But I think Dark Souls 1's pretty. I mean, if you want like a boring playthrough, sword and board, you just block everything and just attack as you can.
And that's remastered now too, right?
Yep. I have that on Steam, so we could share that.
Speaking of remastered, GTA Remastered is getting shredded and ripped apart.
It?
Yeah, apparently the character models, some of them look worse than the original.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's getting shredded right now. So I was going to get it for Switch. So, that like tiny little handheld enjoyment. Right. Like I have Witcher on Switch and it actually works out really fun. And people are like, it's not in 1080p. I'm like, it's a tiny screen.
It's a tiny screen.
You don't need it to be in 1080.
Speaking of tiny screens.
What?
A friend of mine is like tech guru man. And I asked him, I was like, yeah, because we're looking at the new Pixels. And I was like, yeah, I can't get it unlocked. He goes, yeah, you can. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, no, you can get that unlocked. I guess the FDA passed some rule.
Yeah.
Where these cell phone companies are not allowed to have like proprietary. They can't do anything that forces you to buy a product solely.
Right. So they try and force you. Well, they try and manipulate you into it.
Right. But he's like, no. You can buy it unlocked for Verizon. Absolutely. So,
there you go.
Game
Join
changer.
the club. I got my case.
Game changer.
The camera's over here.
Like it?
Yeah, I love this phone. It's one of the best phones I've ever owned. I'm a huge fan of it. It's very fast. The fingerprint scanner, I was a little annoyed with, but then I read that they made the technology really difficult to read to scan in on purpose, so people couldn't like dupe and try and make your fingerprint and get into your phone. So plus with my screen protector, it doesn't work so well, but that's like my only complaint. Everything else has been fine. The new OS, which you should have this as well, it's not called screen time. It's called, is it on right now? I forget what it's called.
Is out.
I can't find it. But it's basically limits my time on apps. So at night after work, I have it turn off all social media. And if I try and go into social media, it tells me like, you turn this off. Would you like to turn it on for 5 minutes? And then after the 5 minutes, if I'm still on it, it goes, we're turning this app off, so I won't get notifications. It grays out the app too. So you can barely see it. And it's such a mental health booster because social media is like the death of me. And I have a tick where I'll just like pick up my phone and start looking at things.
Oh, nice.
And it's really helpful to do that. So that's one of the things I like about the
When did the
Pixel.
last update come out? Was that October?
It launched right before the Pixel release, like a week or two before.
Okay.
So
But
yeah, that sounds
for
like
the Pixel
October.
or for everyone?
And it was an Android OS update.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, as far as video games too, yeah. So GTA is getting ripped apart. And like I said, I have Skyrim, I have Witcher, I've played both of them on Switch. They're great ports. But speaking of which, Skyrim with another anniversary edition.
I know, dude. What the heck?
They did announce this week, though, that Jedi Fallen Order, they're removing the anti-cheat, so now people can mod it. So I have a feeling that's going to create some really cool mods on PC for Jedi Fallen Order. So that'll be fun. And the only other big thing in gaming news that I had was Forza came out, and it is like glowing reviews across the board.
Dude, have you seen some of these screen caps?
It's like you can't tell it's a game.
They look amazing.
So I downloaded it for Hunter because it's on Game Pass. Another advantage to having Game Pass. I downloaded it for Hunter. We're going to play some this weekend. But Forza looks great. I liked the last Forza. It was fun. It's definitely not a game I like pour my time into, but it really, Forza, the way it works is time investment, and you can play for 20 minutes and have a great time, or you can play for 6 hours and have a great time.
Right.
So if you have Game Pass, there's literally no reason you should not be playing Forza, at least trying it out. So I'll have more on that, but yeah, you're knee deep in Sekiro, waiting for Elden Ring. So that's like your primer.
Dude, I beat the first horse boss. I beat him like 3 tries. I beat the bull in 2 tries. I'll tell you what, the stupid generals are the ones that give me more problems than the bosses so far.
Isn't that every Souls game though? Aren't there like regular ass mobs that everyone has more trouble with than bosses?
There's regular ass mobs, and there's like essentially what you would consider elite mobs.
Yeah.
Which like typically it's the Black Knights or the Silver Knights, or in this
I
case
remember-
it's the generals.
I remember from Sekiro there was one boss that everyone complained about because you thought he was dead, and then he came back and he could one shot you.
The monkey, the big the
Is it the
albino
monkey?
gorilla.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, all right, I don't want to. Oh, it doesn't even matter.
this is an old game. You can talk about it.
I spoiled it for myself. I watched it.
Oh yeah.
I guess you actually end up beheading it. Like you cut its head off, and the game actually pauses for like a solid 10 to 15 seconds. Like you're like, oh, I'm done. And then all of a sudden it gets up and it picks its head up, and it's now using its head as a weapon.
That's genius.
Ultimate fuck you.
That's genius. It's the chicken without the head.
Oh, dude, I would be so infuriated at that point.
Oh man, but yeah, that's the world of gaming. Oh yeah, and this segues perfectly into what we're talking about this week. But we're doing an escape room today for team building exercise.
Oh, that's today.
That's today.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we're doing that. Well, it'll be on I think the first vlog in December. Everyone will be able to see it. So either that or the Thanksgiving one. I can't remember. But yeah, I'm excited about that. But that segues perfectly into Squid Game.
That was a ride, man.
Okay. So the way it was explained to me going in was it's kind of like Hunger Games, but it's crazier. I'm like, okay, Hunger Games was fun. Although the later Hunger Games movies, I'm like, meh. I don't think anything beats the first two. So
That's fair.
when I went into this, I was like, okay, it's foreign, so it has to have some sort of appeal that's making everyone go crazy over it, right?
Yeah, because the dubbing is atrocious.
I didn't do the dubbing. I watched Korean and read the subtitles.
I should have. But I didn't have the patience to like read, and I just
Fair.
was like, yeah.
I get more annoyed with dubbing, so I just read.
It was bad. Definitely don't watch it dubbed.
The biggest thing too is, and especially when they use multiple languages, and so when they switch to English, like I'm still reading the subtitles, and I'm like, wait, I understand that language. This show was such a roller coaster with like a really big, like a few nut punches along the journey, like nasty nut punches. So by the time you finish the show, I felt very beat up emotionally. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And I have some Easter eggs and stuff we'll talk about that, like the premise and, you know, the plot twists were in front of our face the entire time. But they got me every which way. You know, the marbles game, I knew them pairing off wasn't going to be good, and I figured they would all have to die, or half of them would die. Once the marble game started, I was like, they're not going to kill Ali off. He has a son. Like, he's 1 year old. They're not going to do that, are they? No, Sang-woo's going to die. But then I'm like, but Sang-woo's kind of really important to the plot. I don't like the way this is heading. Yeah. And then when he put the pouch underneath the jacket, I was like, oh no, he is a piece of shit, isn't he? And they set you up for it because he was so nice to him before that.
Oh yeah.
And then and we're talking about episode 6, which is probably the worst episode emotionally. One of the best episodes, but the worst emotionally.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you had the other girl that we had just met, and I was like, oh, she's dead. Go ahead.
Because she emphasized so hard, like, why should I be partners with you? Because I'll do whatever it takes to make you win. And I was like, okay, this is going to be twisted where you're going to die for this. 100%. There's no two ways about it. Because they made such a big deal about her, like, I'll do whatever it takes.
I got the vibe when she was like, we'll just play one game at the end. Let's just talk, that she was going to die, because it seemed like she just wanted to talk to someone before she like checked out, because she was done. She was done with, she had a horrible life.
Yeah.
And she was over it.
Messed up life.
And then when she kept saying like, "Oh, we should go there together after this," I was like, "Oh no, she's dead." Like yeah, no. This poor girl. The more she told her story, the worse she felt.
Yep.
And then you knew when she was like, "We'll see who can throw the marble close to the wall." I was like, "She's just gonna drop it."
And she did.
Bingo. And I'm like,
And
shit.
she did. Or even number one, when he calls out 4, 5, 6 at the end.
Number one was, so looking at the Easter eggs, I sent you both articles so you could kind of thumb through them. Number one, it's just hinted the entire time, and we were so engrossed in like, oh, this cute old man, blah, 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 blah. No. First of all, he's number one.
Right.
Second of all, Gihon is, and I know I'm butchering his name. I'm sorry. I don't speak Korean very well, except for counting to 10 because of Taekwondo with my son. We know that he is the last one. So right there, you're like, oh, that's cute. First and last. No. He's the one who talks him into going back when he quote unquote bumps into him at that little mini mart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you forgot about that, right?
What a coincidence.
What a coincidence.
My friend lives around the corner.
He has no backstory outside of like, oh, my son. And then, in the Marble episode, he talks about, oh, I lived in a house like that. And it wasn't even a lie. When the police officer's going through the records, there is nothing of player one in there. Nothing, not a thing. Also, if you go back and watch Red Light, Green Light, he moves in during one of the segments that he should have been shot, and the person next to him gets shot.
Really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's so subtle, and it took a video to show me. And
I
was like,
notice how excited he was to continue playing.
Yeah.
He's the first one that starts moving after the first after the first wave of gunshots go off.
Yeah, because he's encouraging the people to play.
Right.
Because he knows, So, and then obviously they didn't show his death, but I thought that was more of a mercy to us than to the plot. Like, who wants to watch this old man that we all fell in love with get shot in the head?
Right.
So, but there was purpose behind it, and it was actually like genius plot development.
Do you think him giving 4, 5, 6 his number one jacket was kind of like foreshadowing that he was going to be the winner?
So there's two thought processes. There's one that you just said, like it was almost this like don't let him lose type of thing.
Right.
And the other thought process is that he was picking his winner.
Okay. So either way though, it was foreshadowing that.
It was symbolic of some sort.
He is 4, 5, 6 right now, but he will be the ultimate winner. He will be number one.
How angry were you when you saw him sitting in that hospital bed in the last episode? I was so mad because I felt like I had been tricked.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, fuck, we all got sawed.
Yep.
I just got sawed again.
He was there the entire time, like the whole, and then they showed the flashback and he was the guy with the mask and the suit.
I think I was more angry at that I didn't catch it.
Yes.
Myself. Like I was more like, fuck. Are you serious?
One of the other really obvious things that I didn't catch, and we should have, and everyone should have, all of the games are foreshadowed with stick figures on the wall in the room they're sleeping in.
Are they foreshadowed? Because I noticed the drawings, but I assumed it was a drawing after the game had already been played.
No, the only difference in the room is they moved the beds. They were there the whole time. The drawings
were there the whole time?
The whole time they're there. And you don't fully see all of them until they move all the beds, but they're there the entire time.
Are you sure?
Look on the thing. They're sitting in the room with all the beds, and the drawings are on the walls already.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I didn't notice that.
Also, the angles on the masks represent... You obviously figured out the shapes and that it represented rank, but then you have the game master has more angles on his mask and he's above them, and then you have the rich assholes who have all these crazy intricate masks in there, the VIPs. So, that was another thing, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right too. And his mask, number one's mask, had the most. but you didn't know it was him.
No.
Also, the during the marble game, it was the foreshadowing there was he's losing his marbles, quote unquote.
I picked up on that. He was going crazy.
The actor's thought process on the red hair. This was interesting. He explained, I thought about this intuitively, thinking about how Ki-hoon should change his hair in a hair salon. I imagined being him and thought to myself, what is the color that you would never choose to dye your hair? Then I came to the conclusion that Ki-hoon would never dye his hair red. It would be the craziest thing for him to do. So I chose the color and I thought it really showed his inner anger. End of discussion. And then people also speculated online that he was carrying the blood of everyone that he competed with him with the red hair. Because I was like, that's weird. But with that as explanation, it does make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously becomes way more angry by the end. Like early on, he's very like apologetic or wanting to appease people in the game room, and then towards the end, he's just super angry.
He also, since we follow the journey with him, and I would assume that season 2 is going to be him going back to do something about it. Either that, or it's going to be a prequel of maybe the Game Master one.
Has season 2 been confirmed?
They just confirmed it this week.
Awesome.
So I think it's going to be one of those two. I think it's either Gi-hoon going back and, trying to mess with the games, or it's going to be the prequel where the Game Master wins and then becomes the Game Master. That was another plot twist that I did not see coming until they were standing on the ledge and he wouldn't shoot him. And I'm like, no, don't even. And then as he took his mask off, I was like, it's his brother, isn't it? So that was another one where I was like, oh, man.
That whole side plot with the cop breaking in and going up, like, I don't know. I guess maybe it's, I guess that could set up a lot more season 2 because he sent stuff to the chief or whoever he sent.
The only thing we don't know that got out was the video of the VIP telling him everything. That was the only one that we didn't see on the phone with a check mark. It was pending when he was standing on the ledge.
He hit resend. So we don't know. But, that whole side plot, which to me seemed really inconsequential. Like there wasn't okay.
The point of that was to give you
was your brother.
It was to give you backstory on the games and to give you backstory on the VIPs, to give you clarity.
You really didn't get anything out of it that you wouldn't already have gotten from seeing them. You know what I mean?
Well, we didn't know that people were like, what? We assumed someone was watching the games, but we didn't know
as much. But you didn't need him to be there. They kept talking about the VIPs coming. Okay, you could pretty much draw from that. It's probably going to be some assholes betting on these people, especially because most people there were in debt.
We saw they were international. We knew they weren't all American. There was one that was Chinese. There was one that had some European accent I couldn't nail down. We learned that they were watching the games at home because he was like, this beats beating it, watching it on my big screen.
Right.
So that means more people around the world are probably watching it aside from just these VIPs. So we got that from him. We got the records and stuff, which set up the plot with his brother. We learned that the Squid Games have been going on since the 90s. We learned that from him. We learned about the little underground racketeering thing they had with selling the body parts.
And that was another side plot where I was like, oh, what is this? Like, what is this adding? What are you trying?
That not all the guards were 100% like loyal to this whole thing. That there was guards that were going rogue and, taking the doctor and doing that whole thing. So I think it was to further that plot. And then it was to see, we know some of the information got out, but we also know a year later, the games are still happening. So
it's true.
Who got the information? What did they do with it? Did they somehow, mess? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know what happened there.
As I'm going through it, I think more and more like it was probably placed in season 1 to set up season 2 or to further the story in season 2. Probably will come into play more so than it'll have more of an impact in season 2 than it had in season 1, because a lot of it seems like, I don't know, just it seemed so like it seemed like a lot of effort to set up something very minor that you could have otherwise drawn from context.
Yeah.
But we'll see in season 2. Maybe it comes into play.
Yeah, we don't know. I think they set a lot of groundwork for other stuff to be told in a new game. It's interesting because the show captivated you, but you were also like beyond appalled at what was happening. And then I said to Danielle, because at first she was like, I said to her, once the VIPs came in, I'm like, this 100% happens in real life. There are rich people.
It has to.
Yeah,
Well,
there
that's
are
what we
rich
say
people
about the Purge, right?
Yeah, well,
remember that
the Purge could happen.
Right, but there's that similar scene in the Purge where the rich are able to bring someone in because they can and kill them.
Yes,
in their own private setting.
I guarantee you that there's some sort of real world equivalent, freaking weird ass shit that the elite partake in with this that it could be compared to. Overall, this is probably one of the best shows I watched all year.
Really good.
Yeah, I did not expect to like it this much, and it was very out of left field. They kept the twists and turns coming. If you've listened this far and you haven't watched it, we're sorry that you got stuff spoiled.
Yeah, sorry.
I wonder, and I doubt I'm going to get time to watch it again. And I'd love to hear from you. So if you want to tweet it as Old Fashioned Pod or Old Fashioned Podcast on Facebook, if you want to send us a message. But I am curious, if you watched it again, how did it feel? Did it feel different knowing what was going on? Did you see things you didn't see before? In shows like this, when there's these huge plot twists, I'm always curious to know if people feel differently the second time around.
I'll probably set aside time to watch it again to see if I pick up on anything.
Do it in Korean this time.
Yeah, I'll definitely not dubbed again.
Yeah, do it in Korean.
So I was watching it upstairs, and whenever Grayson would come in, I would turn it off. But
obviously.
So Allie was like, "What's this?" And I told her what it was. She goes, "Oh, I keep hearing about that." And as she's like talking, she goes, "Wait, I think this neighbor and this neighbor and this friend, their kids said that they all watched it." I was like, "What?" And they're they're young. They're young.
Yeah, Hunter's classmate was like, "Oh, I watched Squid Game," and then we're watching Dragon Prince. And he sees on my account, and he's like, "Why are you watching Squid Game? So-and-so at school said," like his classmate, he's 7.
What?
I'm like, what are you people doing?
Oh, dude. So yeah, they're like, I would say probably the oldest in this group was like 10. And I was like, oh. I mean, I'm not the parent. Now I place the parent, somebody else, whatever. Like,
legitimately, people being shot in the head in the first episode.
Oh, dude. I mean, like, and it goes so far beyond that. It's like manipulation through sex, and it's like cracked open heads, and you can see it, and it's like it's brutal. Like, it is brutal.
Oh, speaking of manipulation through sex, before we get off of Squid Game, the woman was like the biggest roller coaster character. Like, I hate her. Oh, I love her. Oh, I hate her again. Oh, I love her. And the way she killed the most annoying character in the show, the man with the snake tattoo,
was so redeeming.
That was so epic.
Yeah.
She was like, fuck you. I'm taking you down with me.
I'm going too, but you're going with me.
That was, and she broke the glass pane so everyone could advance.
Yep. But yeah, so just happened to like ask, like, oh, did you as the parent watch it before your child? They're like, well, I watched the first episode and it seemed okay. I'm like, oh,
what?
Oh my God. It's so deceiving. The first episode's like a guy going around in gambling debt. It's did nothing.
Don't they play red light, green light at the end of episode 1?
I don't know if that's 1 or 2.
I thought 2 was when they leave and then 3 is them back.
Maybe. But they didn't watch it. And Allie's like, yeah, I highly suggest you watch that. Just check it out. Yeah. Just for your own knowledge. Like, it's really messed up.
All right. For next week, are we doing League of Legends Arcane?
I've already started.
Okay, so we'll do that. I was going to say that or the Witcher movie because I still haven't watched that, but we'll do League of Legends Arcane.
Dude. Granted,
I have a feeling it's going to get me excited for the MMO.
when does the next episode come out? The 13th?
Oh, is it a series?
Yeah.
Oh, so let's do both then. Let's cover the first. Let's cover the episodes that are out by the time the show comes out, and let's do the Witcher movie.
I have to rewatch the Witcher.
Yeah, let's do that.
That sounds good to me. I think like another set of like 3 or 4 episodes come out tomorrow,
Okay.
I believe. Okay, yeah, new episodes weekly. So episodes 1, 2, and 3 are out right now. 4, 5, and 6 come out the 13th. 7, 8, and 9 the 20th. Actually, that's perfect, dude. We could do just 3 episodes per show a week.
Perfect. We're doing that.
Let's do that.
So next week is League of Legends Arcane, and we'll cover the Witcher movie. We got
you need to add Love, Death, and Robots to your list.
Yes. I know you want me to watch that, and we will definitely do Love, Death, and Robots. And then we also got Disney Plus Day came out today.
That's right.
So Shang-Chi is now available. Jungle Cruise is now available. There's some new shorts from like a few different. There's one for there's 2 for Frozen. There's one for Luca, and there's one for Tangled. The Frozen one, I watched a little bit of it with Jules. So remember in Frozen 2 when Olaf like tells the story of Frozen 1 to the people?
Right.
And he's like playing all the characters. So the show is just that, but Olaf is doing that for other Disney movies. So we watched Little Mermaid before I left for work. We were cracking up,
An
dude.
Olaf telling of Little Mermaid.
Like when they killed Ursula, he first of all he has like 8 little snowman feet, and he like did his snow like her hair. And he's like, "Arr," like acting
That's
like
so
her.
clever.
And then the little snowmen that are in Elsa's castle, they come up on a sled with this huge like icicle at the front, like the front of the boat that kills her. And they just slide right through him. And he goes, "Oh, I'm dead." We were so there's like 5 of them. I think there's Moana, and a few
clever.
others. So yeah, it's actually really good, and I highly recommend it. But I'm excited to watch Shang-Chi.
I need to watch that. For
Yeah,
sure.
Shang-Chi, and then Eternals is out in theaters, but I'm a little behind on MCU, but I'm getting caught up. So, but yeah. All right. So next week we're going to talk about the League of Legends Arcane episodes that are out. We're going to talk about the Witcher movie. I'll have some more for Battlefield by then for you. So hopefully Mike and you're off today and tomorrow?
No, I'm back to work tomorrow.
Boo.
I know.
I was going to play Battlefield and Sunday.
Yes.
There goes the weekend.
Yeah. I might be able to jump on for a little bit in the morning tomorrow, but
Just hit me up. We'll try. We'll see if it works.
put forth an effort.
All right, we'll try. Thank you so much for listening to Old Fashioned Podcast. Mike and I appreciate you. If you want to check out Mike, he's at metric_methods with a Z on Twitter. I'm Kevin X Vision on Twitter, and the Old Fashioned Podcast is at Old Fashioned Pod on Twitter, Old Fashioned Podcast on Facebook, and you can check us out on YouTube as well. Make sure you head over to raredrop.co and check out all the other cool shows that we got going on. And remember, kingscoastcoffee.com and highscoretees.com. The holiday merch is coming very, very, very soon. And I know we promise you old-fashioned merch, and you will get it next year. I already have a design concept into the High Score Tees folks, but next year. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you, and we will see you next week on the Old Fashioned Podcast.